and welcome to Horror Cinema Reviews. I'm Joe. Here with me is my co-host Dan.
Hello and greetings.
Frankenstein must be destroyed! And Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell are the two follow-up movies in what we're going to term the Madness, or Mad Men, timeline, which is a counterpoint to the Redemption timeline and is not as well written, I find. And because you had a steady character growth in one direction, which is chucked aside because, well, money. But the thing is, the other problem with these movies is, now, Monster from Hell, the monster looks like it's hell. The movie is essentially taking place in a lunatic asylum where, and I'm starting with that one just to briefly get it over with. It's the last one, and Frankenstein finally meets his end. Now he has all the wounds from the previous movies, and he meets his end and is murdered by the lunatic asylum patients, just like in the second movie he lost. He was killed by his poor clinic patients. And this is basically the professor's greatest hits. Dr. Frankenstein's greatest hits. Done. Now, as to rate it, I'll give it a big fat 0.
0.
It was boring. It did have a few good scenes, but one or maybe two good scenes a movie does not make. Then you get, as to Must Be Destroyed, this movie has, as its leads, okay, it almost has 3 concurrent plot points. You have Frankenstein, having moved to London to get away from the continent in his ill repute. Now, he's gone insane since the third movie, and has vowed to basically create a new monster and to fix brains for some reason. Now, he can't figure out how to fix a brain like he did in the second movie, or even the first movie. He can't quite figure out how to stitch them back together, even though he has done this in the past. Weird. So it's almost a standalone, not belonging to the timeline. But we're going to try to find it, fit it into some sort of timeline. The one doctor he needs to be able to figure it out, he needs to create a body for him and transplant his brain into that body. Yeah, you can transplant brains, kind of semi-repair them, but can't fully repair them. What? So inconsistent. And he basically claims the help of a drug dealer who has none of the sympathetic side that the drug dealer from A Walk Amongst the Tombstones have. Because that drug dealer is scum, but what was the thing he said? We had about, I think it was 2.5 million. That was our golden egg. We were going to get out and open a bakery or something over in Canada. I have more sympathy for that guy, having lost his wife and found her body parts and organs all over. And that guy breaks down crying, and he loses his brother and he breaks down crying. You see the humanity. This guy is doing it to help his wife's mom. But here's the thing. There were other roads he could have taken. To quote Dynasty Warriors 7, Shuma Zhao. He could have taken an honest job or request, he could have taken a second job. Had his girlfriend take a job on top of being a homeowner. Or, this is going to sound harsh, they could have accepted nature. Mom is old. To an extent, I don't think spreading the misery is going to help. Now, I don't even think the drug dealers in Walk Amongst the Tombstones are pure good, because one of them is Russian mob. But here's the thing. His wife, is in a coma, and he's having an affair with the maid. Yeah. He's dirty there. But his daughter's kidnapped. His policy was, this is dirty business. I know I'm scum. I can't give up the money I get from this. But my daughter won't have any... she's not going to have anything to do with this business. And I think his attitude was, in the movie, yeah, she grow up, she get married, not have ties with me. Because, well, I don't want her to... I'll leave her all the money. I'll do something good with my money, but I want her to, like, go find herself a nice guy. I don't want her to have anything to do with my shitty business. At least he has that element of morality.
Mm-hmm.
At least the guy who's like, hell, he even says, it's not as though I don't care. No, the guy who lost his wife, he's like, it's not like I don't care or I'm immune to the pain I've caused. Wow. This guy. Well, I have to deal with these drugs. Do you? Like, he works in a lunatic asylum, where, bear in mind, at the time, they weren't exactly always nice to patients. Then he comes home and deals drugs on the streets. Narcotics that he steals. He's not buying those narcotics, he's stealing them. For a mother-in-law who would probably commit suicide. Like, I know I'm obsessing about this, but this guy's scum!
Exactly.
And his wife is apparently, like, doesn't want to give him up. And is grateful to him for helping support her mom. She's a drug dealer's wife. Like, at least a drug dealer in A Walk Amongst the Tombstone, his wife always wanted him to, was haggling him and henpecking. She loved him, but she was like, get out of the business. All right, fine. We have our golden nest. Hey, can we get out now? No. Can we get out now? No. Can we get out now? Okay, give us maybe 3 months. Okay, but then we have to get out. Okay. No, like, that's basically what their characters are like. That's why those 2 serial killers come after them. Because, well, they're about to get out of the business. They want out. And they're not even presented as being the best people out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're presented in a dark light in A Walk Amongst the Tombstones, which is a much more mature movie than this trash. This movie, and I know that's a thriller, but and almost a slasher film, and it's a murder mystery. But this film tries to present the drug dealer in a heroic light. No, you're dealing drugs. You're spreading misery and pain and grief. And you're also committing theft. I'm not trying to be like, oh, there's only one way to live. I'm like, no, life is a series of shades of gray. But there is black and white there. And this guy, then when Frankenstein basically enslaves him and his girlfriend and his wife, he does not say like, okay, get out, run. He says, please go. No, okay, honey. Okay. He loves himself and his money more than he loves his wife. And that's a problem I have. It's like, no, you push your wife out of this. You do not let her get involved with a madman. And then we get the rape scene. That, okay, I don't like to even talk about or consider it. It has no place in this movie because it was just done to sex it up. Like, how is it sexy to see a man as feeble looking as Peter Cushing, and who actually hated all forms of that kind of crime because he was such a nice guy, the actress who didn't want to do it, like, the scene has no place. That would have been different had they had a slasher moment where he keeps stabbing her, like in the Dracula movie that came out around that time. Makes more sense. But, yeah. So, this scene has no place. And even after that, the drug dealer stays with Frankenstein. Okay, you've enslaved me. You've stolen my money that was supposed to be for my mother-in-law, so she's going to die. And you've raped my wife. I guess I could still work for you. What? Like, but, there are no good guys here. Except there's supposed to be. At least the wife is a good girl. But wait, she's accepting drug money. Something her mom would probably be like, no, because of the morals at the time. And so we're left going, why should we care? So, yeah, I know horror. There's not always sometimes there are no good guys. I mean, the Frankenstein novel, there are very few good guys in there. Well, there's not bad guys, but there's not good guys. It's a complex thing.
Exactly.
Heck, I'd argue you look at Suikoden. One, very complex story. There's no, like, per se, true, like, everybody seems great. Because you could argue the Empire does have its good side. Look at Ayn Guide and Barbarossa. They represent all that's good in the Empire. And there are people going, we like the Empire. Who are even on the commoner level. Because they're like, this is not so bad for us. But then you have others who aren't exactly great in the Liberation Army. I mean, look at Leon Silverberg. Look at even Crowley to an extent. Heck, in Suikoden 2, you recruit Gustav. That guy's human garbage. I actually say feed him to Neckler.
Yeah. Mazeth.
Yeah. You have heck. You have Nanami. She's trash. Human garbage. So
She's trashy.
okay. And yeah, no, on the Highland side they only have one good guy. Hans. And a Garrus, I guess. Everyone else is trash, it seems. So and I guess Jillia's not entirely bad. She's just a victim. Well, she's raped. Yeah, victim. But this movie has none of that nuance. It's just like, yeah, who cares? We don't care. Just give us money. You could almost see the bureaucrat going, just give me money. Now, it ends, of course, with a fight where the monster grabs Frankenstein because the wife, there's the whole game there where Frankenstein tricked her. Ran off with Monster. Monster hates that because, he loves his wife. And, kicks the one loser aside because it's like, hey, it's my kill. I'm having it. That's actually almost funny. And then he just drags Frankenstein aside, burns him to death. Turns out Frankenstein and the monster from hell wasn't killed. How are you going to rate this movie? I'm going to rate it a 0. I have very little I actually like about this. I have nothing I like about this movie.
0.
Hey, and here's the thing. If the Madness storyline had actually been good, we'd rate it higher. I mean, the first Frankenstein, where Frankenstein's pure villain, is our favorite, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I find that better than any redemption arc in the later movies. I almost prefer that he does not get redeemed. But I like that he does survive in Evil of Frankenstein. No, Revenge of Frankenstein. But I'd almost prefer those two movies almost as standalones. Together, as one big story. But the thing is, movie 3 and 4 are really good. And they do offer a nice conclusion to the story. So I accept it. But I want the Madness timeline to be better. These movies offer nothing. So, But anyways, our next horror cinema reviews movie will be Jurassic Park. A substantially better Frankenstein movie than these two.
Yes.
As we step into the 90s only real Frankenstein movie. Because all other Frankenstein movies of that decade sucked. Just like all the Dracula movies of that decade sucked. So, Jurassic Park. We'll be watching that. Michael Crichton's masterpiece. And probably his magnum opus. Mm-hmm. That one and the second book were his magnum opuses. So, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you didn't, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm kidding. And remember, hit that notification bell! Woo! To stay tuned. I couldn't resist.